You said that the scene at the police station...
You have to speak up, my friend. Okay?
You said that the scene at the police station is Dillinger in front of his life. I mean,
Right. What his life had been, his past.
Okay,
Yeah.
the past. But in front of his life, his past life, is like a ghost in that moment. He's like a phantom. And that reminds me,
Right.
Why? Because he can do nothing. He just, he's in front of his friends that are dead and his history, but he's not like material.
It may be seen that way, because all the other cops are listening to the baseball game.
Yeah.
Okay, but my intent is that he's just doing something audacious. The audacity of it is to walk through that police station, which he did, and the dare, the challenge of it. It's almost medieval. When you read about, you know, how men-at-arms confronted themselves in battle, it's almost medieval. So I didn't intend for you to feel that he's a ghost. He's not a ghost. He's really there, and they're really. And I mean, if you said to those detectives, "What's the chances of John Dillinger coming in here?" John Dillinger's never going to walk in here. It's so outrageous for them to even think that. You know, they could look right at him. Look at that guy walk through here. He looks just like John Dillinger. Yeah, that's fun. You know, it would never occur to them that John Dillinger would walk through. And that's exactly the kind of thing that Dillinger did. I mean, you didn't have to jump over, you know, he was famous for jumping over, you know, he'd rob a bank and the teller's cages were there. He used to jump over the top. You can walk around. Why jump? You can jump over, you know? And not because he was a fool. He wasn't a fool. Bonnie and Clyde were fools. They were small-time petty thieves. John Dillinger was no fool. You know? So all right, sorry, I digressed.
But
did you want to finish?
No, yeah, but the question is, because it's my opinion is that in your film, not just Public Enemies, but also in the others, the Insider or
Right.
Miami Vice, there is like a ghost story, the characters that are epic, they are hero. In some way you
But they're people.
Yes, they're people.
They're people,
okay.
but they're going through very intense experiences. And when you go through a very intense experience, it does get dreamlike. And what's interesting to me is if you could be inside the experience of the person, what they're feeling, what they're thinking. So when Russell Crowe was suicidal in Insider, okay, or when you know, I'm sure some moments in Ali, they're not coming to me right now, but you know, that experience, even Miami Vice, when Crockett falls in love with Gong Li and they're in Cuba together. I mean, how surreal can that get? The answer is as surreal as I can make it. And so too with Dillinger. To me, that's where I would like to go with you know, with cinema, with experiencing another life, you know. And it's you know, it's to be able to locate audience, locate people inside the shoes of Dillinger, inside his skin, looking through his eyes. I know how that guy's feeling. I love that when it happens to me, when I don't need words or dialogue to tell me, when a look or a gesture, and I know what that character's thinking, and somebody comes up to him, and I know what his response is going to be because I haven't come to know him. So that's what's so interesting. The complexity of Johnny Depp's reaction to Red's death is marvelous. You know, if you've seen it as many times as I've seen it, which is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, you know, the complexity of it is it's not predictable. It's not, let's act sad because my friend died. That's not what he's doing. I mean, he's truly experiencing the death of somebody close to him. And when he loses Billy, he's truly experiencing somebody being taken from him, or the threat of somebody taken from him. That's devastating, you know. And that's you know, that's when it gets great being a director and working with an actor like that.
I want to say about the characters of your cinema, no? James Caan in the Thief, or the police agent in Manhunter.
Right.
They are searching a new life. A new life. They think about a new life after. But Dillinger, maybe with the character of Tom Cruise in Collateral, from in all the film,
Right.
speak about. You say that he go on every time, no? He speak to go on, but he speaks about the nothing, the never, the empty.
This
no?
is not
Who does? Which character?
Dillinger.
Which character thinks about nothing?
Dillinger.
Dillinger.
Right.
Dillinger.
It's exactly.
He's,
It's exactly why. That's exactly the mystery.
Yes, he's
that I
more.
thought of in production.
He know, seemed that
Yeah.
he know very well that he's going to die.
Right.
But at the same time, he go on his way, no? But cosciente, come si dice? He's conscious.
He has consciousness.
He has consciousness of the death, and I speak a lot about the nothing,
Right.
Nothingness.
the nothingness, no?
Yes, I mean, I don't know if this is where your question is going to, but it was precisely because Dillinger didn't have a concept of the future. It's not like he said, I'm not worried about the future, everything will be fine. He had no idea for future. He didn't ask himself the question about the future. So, you know, it's a word in English, you know, ideation. He had no ideation of a future. And why? What in his experience produced somebody, and it's not because he was stupid or that he didn't plan. They planned robberies in fantastic planning. They didn't plan a week from Thursday. It didn't occur to them to plan what's next or where to go with this. And everybody, it did to many other banks, very successful bank robbers of the period, people whose names that you may not know, like Harvey Bailey and Herbert K. Lang, they planned ahead. One guy bought 15 gas stations and took up playing golf, you know, and then he lost everything in the bank crash of 29, went back to robbing banks. But not Dillinger. He's just living for this, to be in the stream of women and the sensual world of sensory matter, the material world of good times and women and clothes and just, you know, feeling great. And that's what he wanted, you know. Looking for love, really looking for love from his childhood, from when he was 3, and he lost his mother. And so that's, you know, what is precisely that mystified me. And I couldn't figure that out. It took a long time to figure out what was going on inside, or I think what was going on.